Okay, so we got a bunch of our prints done here, all of our parts to make our weight cover assembly here. I went ahead already and let's see here. I glued the pieces together so that they're all just one piece now. But we have our two covers, our front part, and also we have the covers that will go over the box itself. And I've cleaned them all up and taken the burrs off, and you know, there's some stuff here that you know, you're gonna have to take a little bit of sandpaper too to get off some of the lumps. 3D printing is not perfect, I mean, as much as machining is. So I'm kind of a stickler for appearance and also finish, so I did a little bit more cleanup than I probably would have liked, but you know, I just wanted these parts to look nice. So I got in the stainless steel hardware, and so that's what we're going to put it all together with. So let me get on with the assembly here, and then we'll test it and see how well we did. Alrighty. Okay, so we got the box part here. That's all assembled. I got all the stainless steel screws in it. It's a good idea to use stainless steel for one simple reason, is rust. And if you don't have to deal with rust, don't. I mean, rust just causes a mess for everything. You wouldn't believe how much damage rust will do to these linear rails here. They'll definitely they'll cause some issues with those carriages because there's ball bearings in there, and that rust is just going to act like sandpaper in there, and you'll run into issues. It usually happens, and that's why a lot of machines, after CNC machines, after a while you need to replace the linear rails in them, because after time they just, you know, people don't lubricate them like they should, and you know, the maintenance that is required for them is you really got to take care of them. And otherwise, when they start rusting, yep, before you know it, you'll have inaccuracies. So that's just something to keep in mind. Everyone's going to be a little bit different on how they want to maintain their machine, but it's a good practice to do. Everything went pretty good as far as assembling this. There were a few things that were a little bit wonky. The ends here, they're not the squarest. So when I went I put in my side pieces here, the ones, you know, with the channel in them. And so they were not, you know, they were a little bit cattywampus here. So when I put the front panel on, you know, everything went together. But then when I went to put the lids on, things were not the squarest in the world. So, but with a little persuasion and everything, we got it all squared up, and the covers went on pretty nicely. One thing to keep in mind, I found out the hard way. There's 3 screws on here, and let me take you over to the other side real quick. I'll show you what I mean. That's how I kind of attached everything here. Let's get down here a bit. Okay, these screws here, they have a thread lock that is basically put on the screw before it goes in, so, you know, vibration, they won't loosen. The one thing is this stuff is like super glue, and I found out the hard way, and I ended up stripping this one down here, but on the other side, and it took me about an hour to get that thing out. With a little bit of heat and a drill and an easy out, I was able to get that out luckily. And so my advice to you is, before you go messing with these, get the right wrench. And the reason being is stainless steel screws are a little softer than regular black oxide screws. And if you don't have the right wrench, the first time you strip one of these, it's all over. You can try hammering other Allen wrenches in there, but you know, you're gonna end up having to drill this thing out. So I'm just forewarning you, make sure you have the right wrench, and you might want to heat just this up with a butane lighter, just for, you know, a few seconds or so to try to break that adhesive that they use on those, and then go, you know, messing around with them. So I just wanted to give you that, forewarn you that that could happen, so be careful. Okay, so next we're just going to get our covers, and we'll start to assemble those, and we'll see how we do. My fear now, after running into a few machining things, that these holes, I'm hoping, are all going to be in location. I mean, when I measured them, it seemed like they were pretty good, so we'll see. But seeing as how this is just a piece of plate stock, and these were drilled in, I mean, this could have been all deburred after, and, you know, something could have been a little heavy or whatever, deburring it at the factory. And so the screws, I'm hoping are going to line up good, but it looked good when I put the pieces on, so we'll see. But then again, we have to remember that, you know, this machine here is a $800 machine, so it's not going to be put together in the most accurate of fashions with, you know, perfect precision parts. So there's going to be a little fit and fiddling here. I can almost guarantee you that, but in the end, we're going to have something pretty successful, I have a feeling. All right, so let me get these covers, and we'll get them installed, and then we'll fire this machine up, and we'll see how it goes. All right, hold on 2 minutes. Okay, so we're back, and we have our laptop all fired up here, and the software that I'm choosing is, what was it here? Oh, G-Sender, that's it. I knew that, but I'm just testing you guys. Okay, so the reason why I'm using G-Sender is because it's going to enable me to write macros once I get the, there's a new, basically controller that I'm going to be putting in this. This one here, this is basically what comes with it. And this is just a regular Gerbil sort of controller, so it can't do much. It can't do math. There's a lot of limitations with it, and I'm going to go with the longboard. And actually, the G-Sender people, they actually make this, but I have to get the. There's two different types. There's one where if you use these motors here, these are a lot lighter weight. They're a less power motor. You can see by the size in your machine as well. So these are a smaller size motor, and I'm going to step it up to basically a 400 ounce motor. And so it's going to take, you know, twice the power, so I'm going to have to run external drivers and stuff, but I've made other machines before, so this is nothing that I can't tackle. And so then we'll be getting rid of this, but it won't go to waste because I'm going to use this somewhere else, I'm sure. Probably build a robot or something kind of fun. Maybe we could do a robot loader with this or something, who knows. But so I ended up writing a little program. Everything looks good. Everything bolted up now. Well, I can't say it bolted up nice. I did have issues with these, like we were saying. And so what ended up happening is they were a little tiny bit off. And so what I ended up doing was I just took the tap and I ran it and chased the hole. And so once I had one started, I just went down the line. So then all the screws, they weren't off much. It was just enough to make them go in crooked. So what I did was I just kind of tapped and followed this, and it just scooted the hole over enough so these would all go in. But you know, there was like, this one went fine, this one was a little off, this one was okay, this one was a little scooted this way, and this one was fine, and that one was a little tweaked the other way. So, but I mean, it wasn't by much. It was just enough that you couldn't get the screw to go in square. So I just used the tap and made everything go in square. Okay, so that is something you're gonna run into. So now for the test of it all. And so I wrote a little program here, and we're gonna start it up now. Well, maybe. There we go. Here's our mouse here, and I'll start it and I'll bring it over and we'll see how it goes. So far, everything is closing up nicely. Everything's moving good. So here's our little program for it just to move around the table a bit. Send it back. See how this goes. Oh, look at that. So nice. No chips will be getting in there. So now it should send it home. Yep. And it should repeat this one more time. Alrighty. So everything's closing up nice. Nothing bound. So if it bound, it would have snapped some parts. That is for sure. I think all looks well. You can definitely call this a success, I'd say. So I should send everything home. Voila. Alrighty, well, I think what we need to do now is clean up your mess here. Okay, so now we're going to start with this side, and as we know, we have this to deal with, so we'll get going designing this next. So the next video will probably be like the first video when I designed all of this, so be prepared for a lot of talking. I know that I've gotten a few comments about that you talk too much and you don't show enough, and well, part of this is learning, and that equals talking, and that equals showing people stuff so that people can learn. I know that a lot of people just want the juice and the meat of it so that they can, you know, do what they need to do just to move on with life. But, you know, other people like to learn a bit, so please be patient, and we'll get through this all together. I thank you guys for watching. It's been great, and let's continue with this build, huh? I mean, it's turning out pretty good so far. I can't wait to see what kind of hiccups we come into, because for sure we're gonna make mistakes and we'll learn along the way together. Alrighty, thank you all for watching, and see you next week. All right, take care. Bye.